So for the past few months, I've been turning what was effectively a shed into a full studio, and there will be some videos coming that show you the whole process from start to finish, but there's one problem that I've always had at the back of my head, which is what is going to be the centerpiece of my setup? What's going to be the thing that I look at every single day, and how am I going to control everything from my lighting to my live streams, all from one place? Now, I did go down the route of looking at things like Elgato Stream Deck and even some software equivalents, but there's one thing that stood out to me the most. I need something that can be everything. I essentially need a touchscreen in front of me that can act as a secondary way to communicate with my whole setup. But I also need a keyboard, and I need both of those things to kind of work together. And I started going down the whole route of looking at Raspberry Pis and different ways to make my setup talk to each other, and I was overthinking all of it. So what was the solution? The Kwumsy K3. Now, they sent me this keyboard, and to be fair, I reached out to them because I really wanted one, but they sent me this keyboard free of charge, but they have no say in anything I say in this video. I'm not being paid to make this video. I've just received a keyboard for free. So technically not a sponsored video, but because they've sent me something of value, I feel I need to declare that. But I do want to show you what this bad boy can do, so let's just get into it. The Kwumsy K3 keyboard. Now, this keyboard kind of acts like the powerhouse of my setup, and not for reasons that you may think. So when live streaming, I use this keyboard as a place for me to view my chat. So it has a full touchscreen built in, and this allows me to not only view chat in here, but also allows me to control my lighting setup and the cooling fans on my computer. Now, I do all of my work on a Mac, and when editing, especially video editing, I like to have my cooling fans on to make sure my laptop doesn't overheat. So I use this as my kind of command center to do everything literally just at the tip of my fingers. Now, some of the benefits of the Kwumsy K3 keyboard actually come down to some things that you may not expect. It has a slot for some internal storage, so you can actually use this as a hard drive, and I currently have loads of SSDs hanging from the bottom of my computer. It's not pretty, I know it's not pretty, but the Kwumsy K3 allows me to actually have expandable storage inside the keyboard, and I've actually ordered some to go in. But also on the back of the keyboard you have USB ports, so you can kind of expand what your computer already has. Now, the only downside to the Kwumsy K3 is I would say the colors aren't exactly accurate on the screen. However, they are still pretty good, and you've got to remember this isn't trying to be the world's best screen or the world's best keyboard. It's a really good keyboard and a really good screen. Maybe another thing that I'm not as keen on is the fact that the RGB lights around the edge are a bit too garish for me. If this could be like one solid, like glowing color, that would be very nice. Now, the keyboard itself is actually a mechanical keyboard, and also comes with hot swappable keys, so you can actually change the feel and even the look of the keyboard if you should wish. The screen itself is actually able to pivot. Sometimes I actually fold the screen out of the way, can make it easier to reach things that I have behind the screen. So I wouldn't really class it as a feature, but it's still a very welcome convenience thing. Another great thing about the keyboard, it doesn't just work with like Macs, it works with your PC, works with your phone, also works with your PlayStation. Not sure if you're supposed to, but it does. Now, whilst working with all of those devices, I wouldn't say it's a portable system. It's definitely not. It has a bit of heft to it, and it is quite large. But overall, this has been an absolute lifesaver when it comes to streaming, when it comes to editing, when it comes to actually day-to-day usability. In fact, when I moved into the studio, I actually used one of my older keyboards, and it was genuinely weird going back to just having a keyboard without this screen and interface in front of me. You don't realize how good it is until you don't have it anymore. So once again, they did actually send me this product, and there is a link in the description down below. They have not paid me to say anything about it. They have no say in what I say about the product, but I think it's actually a really good asset to have as part of my workflow. And finally, a massive thank you to Kwumsy for sending me this. It has been a lifesaver, but also thank you to every single one of you that watches these videos, likes, subscribes, or does anything like that. I appreciate all of the support. I shall see you all in the next video.